Greetings, family, friends, and survivors. Another nasty, smoky day. Poor solar day. And yes, the fire, the Taylor Creek fire and the Klondike fire have burned together. There's some islands in between where it hasn't burnt yet, but it is. It's going to go. So the two fires have joined, and the Klondike fire, which is just a couple of miles from us, it did burn across the Illinois River, and it's burning south, just the other side of $8 Mountain, which is really close to where we live. And it seems to be traveling south right now, and that's going to put a couple of other communities in the valley that are south of us. We're up on the mountain, but they're down on the valley floor, and it's deja vu. It's 2002 all over again. And then the northwest side of the fire is the potential, if it goes past Gillese, it's going to put a whole lot of coastal communities at risk, even more so than last year. And last year, fires burned in the same place it started last year. So it's a really a bummer, because it just doesn't have to happen. It's just so many similarities to 2002. I had a friend that had a hand crew 2 miles away from the Biscuit when it started, and it was 1/4 of an acre, and they asked for permission to put it out, and they said, "You will not touch that fire. That's in wilderness area, and if it was started naturally, we let it burn." Well, the end of the story, I've been saying 495,000 acres. That's what I remembered at November of that year. After they've done all their analysis, 600,000 acres burned. Well, now they're doing exactly the same thing. And isn't it interesting? There was a small logging crew just a few miles away from the fire, saw it happen, asked for permission. They got a fire truck. We got a dozer. Let us put it out. You will not touch that fire, blah, blah, blah. And here we go again. It is so frustrating. At any rate, that's not what this video is about, because I could do a fire update every day until snow comes. So this is the apple cider vinegar. This actually one was, we used white distilled vinegar, put it in a 1-gallon glass jar, 4 bags of Lipton tea, and 4 rolls of 4/0 steel wool. Put it in the sun, and the steel wool breaks down and completely goes into solution. And you can strain it early and strain the steel wool out and get varying colors as you go. We chose to let the steel wool break down completely, and that's what adds the red hue from the red iron oxide from the steel wool. And also the vinegar is reacting and oxidizing the wood. So it's changing the color of the wood chemically rather than oil and stain. So it's kind of an organic type of stain. It's really inexpensive to make, and you can brush it on. This particular one I sprayed it on with a Hudson sprayer. And so we've got a little roof on it now, and I haven't put the corner trim on, but we added 1 bat that was missing. I still need to thank you for all the suggestions. I need to plug off the holes around the gas pipe so that the bees don't come in. I'm going to insulate this from here down with some 2-inch tech foam that I have, and I'll just slide it into place. And in our climate, it's not going to be an issue, and this thing has got a freeze protection circuit built into it. And then up here, this is going to have a stainless steel hardware cloth, because the byproduct when you're burning propane has a lot of water in it, and the byproduct can be caustic. And so if you use anything else other than stainless steel, it's just going to rot away. So I need to find some of that, probably have to order that. But it's got to be fairly sizable. We don't want any kind of restriction at all, because if you put back pressure, this is where the forced draft fan blows the exhaust this way, and if there's any senses any back pressure on it at all, air velocity proofing switch trips, and it shuts the unit down, so there can't be any back pressure. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to have some 1/4 inch square hardware cloth stainless in front of this, and yeah, bees will be able to get in there, but I don't think that's going to be much of a problem. So that's the kind of stain that we make, and it's fairly inexpensive. I like the color of it. Because the house was done with, as you see that right there, that is sugar pine, and it's my favorite untreated sugar pine. Most beautiful red color. But the way we built the house, I didn't have enough sugar pine to do the whole thing. You could see the pantry that was added later was done in ponderosa. It's a different color. They're never going to look the same. The upper roof is also ponderosa. The shop is blue ponderosa. The solar shed is blue ponderosa. None of it's sealed at all. And I wish it all could look red like the sugar pine, but it is what it is. So we were thinking about finishing the bats and the corner trim, and then spraying the whole thing with our own homemade wood stain. Again, that's distilled white vinegar, 1 gallon, 4 rolls of 4/0 steel wool, and 4 Lipton tea bags in a 1 gallon glass jar. And it takes heat. You're going to have to set it in the sunlight, stir it up a little bit now and then until it all breaks down. You can see just the overspray. I sprayed this on with a Hudson sprayer. The overspray on this, you could see how it just immediately oxidizes that bare wood. Pretty interesting. So if you ever had this situation where you got overspray on something and you don't want it there, you can take it back off with oxalic acid. So oxalic acid crystals in a solution of water, and brush it on and then hose it off. It'll go back to bleached bare wood again. So you're just oxidizing and take the oxidation away. All right, I probably said too much already. And remember, God loves you, and our hope is in Jesus.